Welcome back, my friends. In this lesson, you're going to use CloudFormation to deploy a fully functional web application. Now, if you're not familiar with CloudFormation, do not worry. I'm going to walk you through everything from beginning to end. We'll start with some CloudFormation fundamentals. Then we will review the architecture of the application that we're going to deploy, and we'll see how it makes use of application load balancers and auto-scaling groups. Finally, we'll deploy and test the application. Here is what we'll end up with. Now this looks like a lot, but because we're going to be using CloudFormation to deploy all this, it is not going to take long at all. So let me briefly explain how this app is going to work. The application has two components, a web tier and an application tier. Naturally, all the instances in the web tier are running a web server. A client connects to the internet-facing application load balancer, which proxies the connection to one of the instances in the web tier. That instance then opens a back-end connection to the internal load balancer, which it then proxies to one of the instances in the application tier. The idea here is that the web tier instance receives some information from an instance in the application tier, and it displays that information to the user on a web page. The instances in the web and application tiers are going to be part of two different auto-scaling groups. Auto-scaling is going to launch these instances and make sure that we always have a minimum number of healthy instances. If an instance fails, auto-scaling will terminate it and launch a fresh one. All right, that's the overview. Let's talk about some basic CloudFormation terminology. With CloudFormation, you use declarative language to define and configure your AWS resources. This concept is often called infrastructure as code, or IAC. A CloudFormation template contains the code that describes the resources you want to create. Templates are simply text documents written in either JSON or YAML format. When you deploy a template, CloudFormation creates the resources defined in that template and puts them in what is called a stack. A stack is a collection of resources that you can create, update, and delete as a single unit. Think of a stack as a container for AWS resources. A stack is a way of managing resources as a single unit. If you delete a stack, you delete all of the resources in the stack. However, the resources in a stack are still normal AWS resources. For example, CloudFormation can create a VPC and put it in a stack, but it's still just a normal VPC. There's nothing special about it. You can still manually delete that VPC without deleting the entire stack. How many stacks and templates do you need? Do you put everything in one stack in one template, or do you use multiple stacks and templates? As usual, the answer is, it depends. Different teams may own different resources and need to maintain some degree of separation. For example, one team may manage the VPCs while another team manages the EC2 instances. That's one pretty good reason for using separate templates for each. Another reason for using multiple templates is that different resources may have different life cycles. Production EC2 instances will have a different life cycle than instances used for software development. As you might have guessed, AWS recommends using multiple templates. And, as you also might have guessed, we are going to be using multiple CloudFormation templates. Two to be exact, app-stack.json and network-stack.json. We are not going to be creating any CloudFormation templates from scratch. I've already created the templates for you, and you can find them in the course exercise files. Please go ahead and download those templates now because you are going to need them in a moment.